Today is November 17th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we're going to continue our journey through Chapter 9, The Family Afterward. We'll be reading page 123. The 12 and 12 are on Tradition 4. We'll read 147, and we'll read today's 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, my friends, we've been given a brand new set of 24 hours. Yesterday's done. It's behind us. Tomorrow's not even a thing yet. It's just today. 24 hours. I believe we can handle that, hopefully. maybe these steps will help a little bit. So with that, let's get to the good stuff. Alright, if you recall from yesterday's reading, we were talking about some of the obstacles that, families have to overcome. Not just the drinker, but everybody. It's definitely a hard road to recovery. But if we put the work in, it can be done. So we're on page 123. Suppose we tell you of some of the obstacles a family will meet. Suppose we suggest how they may be avoided, even converted to good use for others. The family of an alcoholic longs for the turn of happiness and security. They remember when father was romantic, thoughtful, and successful. Today's life is measured against that of other years, and when it falls short, the family may be unhappy. Family confidence in dad is rising high. The good old days will soon be back, they think. Sometimes they demand that dad bring them back instantly. God, they believe, almost owes this recompense on a long overdue account. But the head of the house has spent years in pulling down structures of business, romance, friendship, health. These things are now ruined or damaged. It will take time to clear away the wreck. Though old buildings will eventually be replaced by finer ones, the new structures will take years to complete. Father knows he is to blame. It may take him many seasons of hard work to be restored financially, but he shouldn't be reproached. Perhaps he will never have much money again. But the wise family will admire him for what he is now trying to be, rather than for what he is trying to get. Now and then the family will be plagued by specters from the past, for the drinking career of almost every alcoholic has been marked by escapades, funny, humiliating, shameful, or tragic. The first impulse will be to bury these skeletons in a dark closet and padlock the door. The family will be possessed by the idea that future happiness can be based only upon forgetfulness of the past. We think that such a view is self-centered and in indirect conflict with the new way of living. The 12 and 12 are on Tradition 4. Each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. We're on page 147. This meant, of course, that we had been given the courage to declare each AA group an individual entity, strictly reliant on its own conscience as a guide to action. In charting this enormous expanse of freedom, we found it necessary to post only 2 storm signals. A group ought not to do anything which would greatly injure AA as a whole, nor ought it affiliate itself with anything or anybody else. There would be real danger should we commence to call some groups wet and others dry, still others Republican or communist, and yet others Catholic or Protestant. The AA group would have to stick to its course or be hopelessly lost. Sobriety had to be its sole objective. In all other respects, there was perfect freedom of will and action. Every group had the right to be wrong. When AA was still young, lots of eager groups were forming. In a town we'll call Middleton, a real crackerjack started up. The townspeople were as hot as firecrackers about it. Stargazing, the elders dreamed of innovations. They figured the town needed a great big alcoholic center, a a kind of pilot plant AA groups could duplicate everywhere. Beginning on the ground floor, there would be a club. In the second story, they would sober up drunks and hand them currency for their back debts. Third deck would house an educational project, quite non-controversial, of course. In imagination, the gleaming center was to go up several stories more, but 3 would do for a start. This would take a lot of money, other people's money. And believe it or not, wealthy townsfolk bought the idea. "24 hours a day, November 17th. AA thought for the day. Everyone has 2 personalities, a good and a bad. We are all dual personalities to some extent. When we were drinking, the bad personality was in control. We did things when we were drunk that we would never do when we were sober. When we sober up, we're different people. Then we wonder how we could have done the things that we did. But we drink again, and again our bad side comes out. So we're back and forth, always in conflict with other selves, always in a stew. This division of ourselves is not good. We must somehow become unified. We do this by giving ourselves wholeheartedly to AA and to sobriety. Have I become unified?" Meditation for the day. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of thy Lord. These words are for many people, including those who would often too easily pass by. There are many quiet followers who serve God unobtrusively and faithfully, who bear their crosses bravely and put a smiling face to the world. Enter into the joy of thy Lord. Pass into that fuller spiritual life, which is a life of joy and peace. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may not desire the world's applause. I pray that I may not seek rewards for doing what I believe is right. Daily Reflection, November 17th. Overcoming loneliness. Almost without exception, alcoholics are tortured by loneliness. Even before our drinking got bad and people began to cut us off, nearly all of us suffered the feeling that we didn't quite belong. As Bill sees it, page 90. The agonies and the void that I often felt inside occur less and less frequently in my life today. I've learned to cope with solitude. It is only when I'm alone and calm that I'm able to communicate with God, for He cannot reach me when I am in turmoil. It is good to maintain contact with God at all times, but it is absolutely essential that, when everything seems to go wrong, I maintain contact through prayer and meditation. Alright, my friends, that concludes today's reading, and boy oh boy, these last 2 really hit home. The daily reflection, since it's fresh, solitude. Whether that's the quiet time in the morning for me, when I sneak into the garage and I pray, or I just sit and listen and try to ask, what is your will for my life today? I've never gotten an audible voice saying, "Rob," and I believe if I did, I'd probably freak out. But there's been gentle nudges in certain directions, or somebody will be put on my mind. And one thing I do know for sure, that at least for me, I know that God's will for me is not to drink today. That just doesn't work out well for me. I love being outside in solitude. I love being inside. Just that quiet time really recharges my soul. And then, going back to the 24 hours a day, I always heard that quote, there are 2 wolves living inside of us. And pretty much every 24 hours that we have a choice of which wolf we're going to feed. The good wolf or the bad wolf. And when they talked about drinking, how the bad wolf would come out, I can certainly relate to that. my common sense filter was absolutely busted when I was drinking. And then maybe somebody out there can relate to what I'm saying. You wake up the next day and you go, oh God, what did I do? Or you wake up from a blackout and go, oh no, what did I do? Where am I? It's a horrible feeling. What did I do? What did I say? Who did I embarrass? Oh, it's a terrible feeling. Thank goodness we don't have to go back there, right? So my friends, that's all we have time for today. If you are sober today, I hope you realize that you're a miracle. And if you're still drinking, I hope you realize that you're a miracle too, because you're alive today and you have the opportunity to change, to make that first step toward change, whatever that might look like. You have that chance today. And I pray that you'll make the most of it. So with that, my friends, if we're given another set of 24 hours, I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.